Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video, everyone. Thank you so much for clicking that link and stopping by. Today's video is to catch you up on where I've been, why I sound a little different, and talk a little bit about Season of Dawn, specifically the Corridors of Time Part 1 quest that you're seeing here. So let's get into it. 3 weeks ago, I had some major orthodontic surgery done, which has basically kept me from streaming or making content ever since. It's also the reason why I sound a little bit different now. Essentially, I need braces, but because my upper palate is not properly aligned, my teeth, the row on which my teeth sit is a little compressed, I had to undergo surgery to fix that. So I did that, and then basically 2 to 3 weeks of only a liquid diet, ice packs on my face every day, having to shave my beard before the surgery. It was a pretty big deal, pretty rough recovery, I have to say. But I'm doing much better now. The swelling has gone down for the most part. I'm now back on streaming. You can see a link below, and I'm going to be making more videos. But I do sound a little bit different, so I do ask for your patience and your compassion and tolerance here. I may get some special guest speakers in to narrate some of my scripts because I want you to understand me, and I'm doing my best, but this is the best, closest to my normal speaking voice that I can get at the moment. So that's where I've been, but I have been playing Destiny in the background when I can, and I've been really enjoying Season of Dawn. Let's fly through a bunch of little topics before we let the mission play out and talk more about the narrative here. Season of Dawn really is a lot of fun so far if you've been giving it a pass or if you decide to skip it or haven't been paying attention. I think Bungie is really showing that they're listening a lot to our feedback here. So essentially you've got the 6-person activity like the Vex Offensive, but this time it's called the Sundial, and it's much better. It's more like the Menagerie than the Vex Offensive, I gotta say, although we'll have to see how it plays out over the season. We have a new boss coming into the mode today, so hopefully things rotate a little bit. I'm a little concerned it may be a limited environmental situation like the Vex Offensive, but all in all, there's some mechanics. It's interesting, it's fun. There's the obelisks, which are related to the Sundial. Think of them kind of like the Black Armory Forge, where there are specific weapons you can work toward. But more than that, the obelisks actually give you added benefits. They give you more resources for certain planets or different planetary materials, and you can earn a bunch of cool seasonal mods that people are starting to get into. And as you earn more things later, you can choose more weapons from the Sundial to earn. You can earn more perks and stats and things on the weapons that you get. So I think it's a really cool system. It's streamlined, it's interesting, and the weapons are pretty cool so far. They look really neat, so definitely advise checking those out. The ritual weapons seem pretty fun so far. For some reason, they changed the target acquisition on sidearms. The sidearms are actually a lot more lethal and effective this season, which is good because the Vanguard ritual weapon is a sidearm. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but the progress on it seems to be shared amongst your fire team. So just jump in there with a bunch of people, bring out your sidearms. You should be done pretty quickly. I did mine in a day or two. I'm sure you will as well. The Crucible one is a bit controversial. It's a heavy linear fusion rifle, which some people are thinking, I'm never going to use this, or I rarely ever want to use this in like competitive, let's say. Also, it's a heavy, so there's a bit of, contention there. But the other problem is that whenever a weapon like this comes out, the entire meta of the Crucible turns to that weapon type. So the only kind of linear fusion rifle we have that's not a heavy, that you can have all the time and use every life, is the Arbalest. So you've probably been hearing that sound of the Arbalest charging up all the time, kind of like the Jade Rabbit was the Scourge of the Crucible last season. I don't personally find it's that big of a deal. I mean, if people want to snipe me, it's a more effective option than using a linear fusion rifle. And I actually found myself enjoying the gun again and trying to learn how to properly time and land my shots, or to clean them up with a special weapon or something like that. The Gambit gun, the Python, seems really interesting. The thing I like most about this gun is that it has some really great options for its perks. and it is a straight line toward a weapon with no RNG involved that has great perks. So something that Cammy Cakes has talked about a little bit on his videos, and I believe Dado talked about in his review of these weapons specifically, is that, you know, if you want a 1-2 punch shotgun, if you want some like a feeding frenzy shotgun or something, you usually got to rely on the RNG. Even if you want to get the Ikelos shotgun from Escalation Protocol, you have to rely on the randomness of it actually being the proper link and for the gun to drop from the boss. Whereas this gun is a great gun, it is a straightforward quest, you go and do it. It can take a long time if you're not an invader. Invader kills with a shotgun count for more progress than just regular hostile kills, but you'll get there eventually. So anybody who doesn't have a good roll in a shotgun wants to get a good special one, this is a straight line and I really enjoy that. Finally, going to touch a little bit on a rumor that's going around in Destiny right now, and the rumor is that Trials of some form will return soon. That is namely fed by four key things that are feeding the rumor here. The first one is the fact that while you could probably argue that Destiny hasn't really been a PvP-focused game in a long time, a lot of major changes have come in the PvP playlist that may support Trials coming back in some form, namely the inclusion of the elimination playlist, the play mode, in the Crucible playlist. So the fact that that's back seems to indicate that Bungie is working on that kind of content. They want to support that. That could lead to Trials. The second was that some streamers have found a menu, a UI option, a little menu directive card has popped up saying, you know, beta something. Basically, while they were playing, a purple menu item popped up with 9 little blank check mark boxes. It looks very similar to a Trials, card, and people are thinking this has got to be some kind of placeholder for Trials. The next thing would be the fact that Bungie invited a few streamers to their studio. 3 of them we know of, 2 of whom haven't played Destiny in a long time, but all 3 were PvP Trials of the 9 focused players back in Destiny 1. And so the questions arise, why now? Why are they being invited? What do they have in common? Why would you invite them in December when costs of flights and accommodations are higher, etc., etc.? What's the rush? So that all leads to the theory that Trials is coming back soon. If you want to connect it a little bit to the lore of the game, as I like to do here, there is something on the calendar known as the Empyrean Foundation. It comes up, I believe, one of the later February before Crimson Days, and we don't really know what it is. It's some kind of event that pops up. The only link is that it's obviously related to this season, you know, Mercury, Osiris, Saint 14 maybe, and that Empyrean as a noun, as a name, pops up if you look at the Hallowfire, I believe it's the Hallowfire Heart exotic for the Titan chess piece, that talks about the first creator of the Sunbreaker Forge, known as the Empyrean Magistrate. So, you know, maybe we have to help rebuild the Sunbreakers because they were basically destroyed during the Red War. Our Guardian is pretty much the only Sunbreaker left, really, officially, I guess. And maybe we rebuild that organization, and that organization rebuilds Trials as a means of, creating champions. It's all too early to say. I will say that I do hope Trials comes back. I don't play it a lot, but I feel Trials is important. Part of Destiny. Destiny has this reputation to uphold as a PvE and PvP focused game. They've obviously let PvP slide quite a lot in the last little while. I think it's a really important part of the player base, and I always have a special place in my heart for Trials because I feel that Trials of Osiris helped carry this game through the content drought that was in Destiny 1. I feel like Trials was what kept the lights on for Bungie and for Destiny until they could bring it to the PvE lore narrative experience that I've come to know and love. Speaking of which, let's talk about this mission, Corridors of Time. If you haven't done it, make sure you go and bother Osiris. Osiris has 3 quests to give out that not a lot of people are seeing. He doesn't have a blue quest marker above his head, and sometimes you talk to him and he has nothing to say, and then you talk to him again, and boom, 3 quests show up. So make sure you're going to bother him, get those quests done. Specifically, there's one that asks for shotgun kills. Go do that one. That will unlock this quest here, known as Corridors of Time Part 1. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to any of the material coming out this season, the trailer or anything like that, this is major spoilers territory. Apologies for that. Feel free to jump out. I'm going to talk about it really quickly, about what I love and why I love it, and then I'm going to let the rest of the mission play out because I think it's beautiful, and my voice, the way it is, doesn't do this level justice. So the synopsis of this thing is that we have been helping Osiris try to fix the broken timeline, and one thing that happened was we actually found a modified version of the Perfect Paradox, Saint 14's weapon. And we have used it to track down a signal that leads to Saint 14 in the Dark Ages of Destiny. So this is well before our time as officially as Guardians. And we go through the corridors of time until we find him in those Dark Ages. And it's crazy. I mean, the thing with this game is it always introduces these amazing storylines and these amazing heroes, but they're generally just in the lore, or they're in a trailer, or they're somewhere obscure, they're over the radio. How many times have we had characters speak to us over the radio and we never got to actually meet with them or run with them or see them in action? So annoying, so disappointing. Now, maybe you don't know a lot about Saint 14, maybe you know everything about him, but I like the way that this season has set him up. Osiris is obviously a big deal, he's the leader of this season, so even if you know nothing about the lore, you're like, okay, that's the main dude, and there's some guy that he misses who died in the past. It's sad. You meet him, or you learn more about him, and you're like, oh, that's the guy who got this Perfect Paradox, which is a really cool shotgun. This is the guy that Titans are running around with a really cool helmet that blinds everything. That's really cool. And Saint is a Titan's Titan, right? So he's easily identifiable by players who know absolutely nothing about the lore, which I think is really great. And more important than that, you actually get to get some character development from, or at least some character knowledge about him. You show up, and there he is. He's mad, he's angry, he's sad, he's extremely depressed because he led a bunch of people to Mercury thinking it was going to be a garden world, it was going to be a paradise for them, and the Vex and the Fallen attacked and just wiped everything out. Here's a Saint 14 who's not a legend. He's a failure at this point. He has failed, and he is hopeless, and he is depressed, and he thinks there's no way out. And we mow down the Fallen all the time, and even if you're a bit of a Fallen sympathizer thanks to Mithrax, which you can check out my video on Truth if you want to know a little bit more about that, but the Fallen have had a bad history with humanity, and this really brings it out. So there's an emotional connection there that we don't get. Then you come around the corner, and he's not just a voice on the radio. He's right there. He's making a bubble. He has no weapons. He's simply keeping himself alive long enough to transmit a broadcast to say, hey, stay safe, get the heck out of here, all is lost. You show up, you clear the area, you use the weapons of light from him, you kick butt, and the rest of the mission is going to play out after I finish talking here, but I love this mission. I would love to actually fight with Saint 14, where he is doing more than just holding a bubble. I understand the difficulties of making a character AI fight with you and not having them just walk into a wall and glitch out, but I hope for more in this coming week. But this mission has a special place in my heart. I love Saint 14, I love Titans, but I love heroes. I love people who try, even in the face of adversity. I love people who get up when they've been knocked down and who try to do something to help others. And this mission was great because not only do we get to meet Saint 14 and we get to work with him, but we actually inspire him. We show him that we can do things and that the city can get better. So I'm really hoping for this coming week that we get to see Saint 14 maybe at the height of his ability. Maybe we see him kicking all kinds of butt and we come in and maybe he saves us a little bit. Maybe we're there to save him, but we see, okay, this is what This is the legend we have helped inspire, and who has then in turn inspired us. Anyway, a lot of emotional gab. I'm gonna let the rest of the mission play out. Tell me what you think. Did you like this mission? Have you done it? Are you excited for more? What could they have done better? Personally, I'm just hoping for more of this kind of stuff in the future. Might be a bit of a shame if and when this mission goes away at the end of the season, but maybe we'll get it into the rotated playlist. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking so you can enjoy it. Thank you all very much for your patience. Feel free to catch me on Twitch sometime. I'm going to be making more videos soon. Keep an eye out. Have a great time. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
I arrived with 1,000 human colonists. Mercury was supposed to be a garden book, but the facts for you. They have murdered this planet, and this fallen from the House of Red dragged us here all the way from the Cosmodrome. They destroyed us. We never should have come. Another minute and they would have eaten my ghost. Fallen are monsters.
Some are. Are you fit to fight, Titan?
I was supposed to protect these people. I should be dead.
You're stronger than you think.
Not strong enough. What is this?
The perfect paradox, built by my guardian out of spare parts, and light, and sheer will to aid you.
It's beautiful.
I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but when has that ever stopped us? This is the last safe city of humanity, hundreds of years from now. During the day, there are children laughing in the streets. When night falls, the people sleep in their homes, not against the walls, weapons in hand, like the early days.
Like my people.
These are your people, Saint. They're descendants. If you quit the fight, maybe you'll live forever. Your ghost will protect you no matter what. But this last city might never happen.
Everything I've ever built has died. I've buried most of the people I've met. I can't do this. Not anymore.
We all make our own choices. Good luck, Titan.